It is now day 121 of our 1000 Dawns, ladies and gentlemen, and yet again, yesterday was a little bit of a bad night, all things considered. But to be honest, two bad nights in a row, and um, I'm just I'll get over it. Don't get me wrong. It's just I think whenever I'm having like a bad night, and I do say the next day that it only strengthens my resolve all the further. That's all well and good if we can actually get things done about it. And the only problems with like the last two nights is that the times in which I started work were in such a way that it was kind of a little bit hard to get anything started in the morning, and it was a little bit too late at night to get anything started or going in the evening. So yeah, a little bit of a sticky situation, you may say, in terms of like trying to get stuff done. Now, with that being said, stuff does get done. It's just a little bit slow, and insofar as I'm concerned, and a bit too slow with what I know I can get done in such a short amount of time. With that being said, there's all the more reason to be a little bit more of a revitalized mood today, because today is the 1st of June, and it is, well, it's grey outside. Grey, and there's a speck of grey somewhere in the distance as well. So, yeah, not the greatest start to the month as far as the weather is concerned. But speaking about everything that I can't just, blame the weather for, tosser, today is also the beginning of Pride Month. Now, I'll just state for the record right now, I'm not gay or anything like that, but I will say this. There was a news story a few days ago that Durham Council, well, the whole of of Durham is now under Reform UK, and one of the things that Reform tried to do, or rather they try to make Durham Council do, is to cut all funding for any sort of Pride festivals or festivities or anything of that description. They were prepared to just like cut off all funding, but then pro LGBT charities got together and they actually managed to raise more than Reform actually could cut from this. So, via the power of actually realizing what they were up against, a community of charities managed to come together and actually keep things going where, local government, because Reform is technically local government in Durham, managed to step in and subvert all expectations in order to keep festivities and the atmosphere afloat. Which I don't know about you, but that's actually quite wonderful to hear in a roundabout sort of way. And well, I remember even speaking to a few of my friends about this, and they said, and they were all like, and many of them were like, it makes sense, and to be honest, you got to admire their spirit, because guess what? They know fine well that reform hate gay people, and guess what? It's not so much that gay people hate reform, but rather I think deep down inside they know fine well what the correct response is. And that's the kind of bizarre revelation I've kind of had about like the LGBT community like over the last couple of years, is that it's not just a lifestyle choice. It's not just about choosing your sexual persuasion. It's not just about falling in love with who you choose to fall in love with. It's not about it's almost become in some small way a political movement. As to what political movement you may be saying, I can't 100% say. I don't know if it's about like civil liberties, but what I do know is that it not off has its effects, and it's not off actually really really it's really good to see is when this sort of thing does happen, because this could be happening all over the country at this very moment, not just in Durham. And bear in mind, I actually have family relatives who work for Durham Council, and some of the things that you hear reformers say about people who work for the council in Durham are quite frankly outrageous. From what I understand, their policy seems to fall under, if you do not agree with what we set out to do, go and find another job. Yeah, that seems to be the motto as so far as working for the council in Durham is concerned. A disgusting thing to hear when you know fine well that. That was a seagull outside. It sounded like someone was being strangled. And it's also raining and it's raining too. But yeah, but let's get things a little bit back on track. So yes, 1st of June, and for those who have also caught up on this journey that I'm on since the very beginning, including quite a lot of the shorts that I do, you may also be under the impression that should I not be a little bit more alarmed or a little bit more like shaky and nervous? Now, the reasons for this is because ever since this year began, I've been keeping a very, very close eye on the time. And I've been keeping a very, very close eye of what I have done throughout the year in response to the shortness of time. And without wanting to revert to that Connie Smith song that I referenced about 3 weeks ago, there is just this much to be said. Is it still worth continuing to go through this sort of ordeal of working at the fear of time running out, when what is the point of continuing it if it doesn't bring happiness? Yes, it may be. You may argue it probably doesn't make sense, but as far as I'm concerned, happiness has nothing to do with it. I'm doing it because this is what I'm good at. It's what I've chosen to do, and I'm going to stick it out, and I'm going to find ways to make it work. And whilst all of that is going on, compromises, of course, had to be made in certain areas so that when things are said and done, I can say they are ready to go out, and we can continue going. It's not elegant, and boy howdy, am I the one going to be the one to say things are still going to get harder before they get easier. And believe you me, things have been quite difficult so far. And I don't exactly know if it's bravery or if it's being too foolhardy to openly admit that I know fine well things are going to get worse before they get better, considering what I've had to go through already. However, I am still perfectly aware of certain other things that I know fine well in my mind, is that surely if I was surely I don't want to go back to how it was this time last year. Now, if there's one thing I do know for certain is that there is no way in hell we are going to go back to the way things in 2025. I've already spoken before about the disasters that I faced last year, and there were events from that still reoccur in my mind from time to time because of the injustice that I had to undergo whilst everyone seemed to get away scot-free. Then, of course, there's under the knowledge that, guess what? I managed to get to where I am right now pretty much on my Todd. So therefore, I can do it again and achieve even grander things. Do I feel sometimes that people seriously underestimate me and what I can do and, what I'm capable of achieving? Yes, I do. I really do believe that. Do I also believe that if I really had to look deep down inside myself, I can absolutely do it? Yes, I know that as well. Do I know deep down inside that I'm not, gonna, label mood swings or anything like that, but do I also know that I can also be my own worst enemy? Yes, I know that as well. With that being said, however, today is a new day, the beginning of the month, and guess what? It stopped raining outside, the sun's trying to break through, and you know what? I think this month's going to go all right. I really do, because the countdown to London is on quite a ways away yet, but at the same time, I know we will get there sooner or later. There's 9 whole days I've just got to go through with work, and then I'll be on my way. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Work is not making it easy for me to get away, but whatever. That's sort of how it is. Meantime, I'll see you guys again next time. Thank you.